Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna talk about the characters that I wanna see in the future and characters that might have a chance of coming into the game, characters that I already predicted that are coming into the game. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. So, a couple months ago, I did a video about the characters that I thought that were coming throughout the year, and some of them were pretty easy to guess because they were just very popular and they were story relevant. So obviously they were going to appear. Right now, in this moment, we have a different model for Clone Yuki, which makes it possible that she becomes a playable character in the future. Usually, Gremory doesn't add neither clone characters nor future characters because of the similarities to the original character. Like Clone Asagi, even though they can make different gameplay, her assets would be kind of very similar to the original Asagi. Maybe she would have other customs, but why bother when they can just make customs for Asagi? That's why I think they don't do that. And in the case of future characters, it's basically the same. While they can give them a very different approach, like Micah using a sword, for example, and having a different model, they have already added uh, outfits for their future forms. So yeah, they're not into that. I'm almost sure. But Yuki is a special case since she has a very different model, and we know that she doesn't use guns, but rather, let's say, energy savers. So she might have a chance to become a playable character. Though I think the opportunity for adding her has already passed. Who knows? She might. And there's also Camila Lopez here. So she was added into the game on one of the newest chapters. I don't remember if it was this chapter or the last one. But, well, we already have her model, so yeah, they might as well add her into the game. While we're still waiting for Sakuya, I think that Sakuya is still a no. I know, because Gremory is just Gremory. They don't seem to want to go with petite characters anymore, and I get it, so, well, Camila might be the option for a new character. And, well, from my previous list, I predicted characters like Lilith and Miriam. These are not like super important picks. I just added them to the list. I like them both, but I don't think that they are likely to be added into the game. Though I might like seeing them into the game. Then there's Awakened Lilim. I still think there's a pretty decent chance that she becomes a playable character. I mean, it's pretty simple, pretty easy for them. I think. No, I don't remember. Lilim's model is already in the game, the original one, but I don't remember if we already have Awakens Lilim model. But honestly, if they put default Lilim as the playable character, I would be really disappointed. I prefer to have Awakened Lilim, and it would make more sense to have her at full power as a playable character. Then, I also talk about Fuma Mane. I still want Fuma Mane. And, I mean, yeah, I like Fuma Mane, but it's not because I want Fuma Mane herself, but rather that I want more machine type characters. Guys, let me know in the comments which machine type characters you would like to see in the game, added to the game, because we still have a very unbalanced roster with a bunch of demons, a bunch of humans, and just a handful of machine type characters. So, yeah, I think we really need more machine type characters. And Fuma seems like a good option to me because she would use a new kind of weapon. She wouldn't share with Asuka because of her design. She would need prosthetic arms instead, rather than blade arms. So yeah, I think she's a good pick for a new character. I also talk about Fuma Aki. I have no doubts that this one is coming into the game. It is just very very popular, like Mirabelle. So yeah, she's definitely coming. It's not a matter of if; it's a question of when. When is she coming into the game? Yeah. So Brunhilde, yeah, I would like this one again. Another easy pick for machine type characters. I think like last time I added Faust into the list, and both Faust and Brunhilde would be excellent picks. Just to add more machine type characters into the roster, and these blades look really nice to play, so I would like that. And yeah, again I mentioned BB. With the boss saw looks really nice, really appealing, and playing with the boss saw would be kind of interesting. I would like to see the kind of moves that Gremory would design for a character like this. So let's hope. Let's hope. There's a lot of people going claiming that Gremory should add this one into the game. So let's hope. And now new characters that I would like into the game. The previous one were predictions, but these ones are the ones that I subjectively want, just because I like them or because they look appealing. Like I was just scrolling throughout the whole list, and there's a big amount of characters, and some of them don't have like too much to do. Like they are non-combatants. Some are mobs and enemies, or even NPCs that don't take any particular role in the game. But I think that Ortal would be a nice addition. She looks really cute, and even though she doesn't seem to have like too much into the lore, she looks nice. I would like to add her to the list. So yeah, Ortal for the win. And yeah, we have Fumika. Fumika seems to be Felicia's twin sister. Yes, sure. Twin sister. Why not? You can say that. But yeah, she looks exactly the same as Felicia, but as an adult. I like that. But at the same time, I don't think they're gonna add her, even though I would love to see Fumika in the game, because of the big amount of similarities on her face and her traits. Well, traits. You know what I mean. Being her, the face is almost the same. She's basically Felicia, but adult form. And similar to the future characters, I don't think they would do that, because why bother if they can just make more outfits to Felicia, even though it will never be the same thing. Well, in any case, we also have, oh yeah, the Dullahan over here. Dullahan is part of the Revenant Knights, and she's probably the least likely character to come into the game from the Revenant Knights. But there's other three characters that have a better chance and that a lot of people would like to see into the game. I mean, Dullahan is just fine, but to say that I want her would be a little bit of a stretch. The one that I would like to see is White. White is a pretty popular character. People have already asked for White for some time, ever since her release as a supporter, as a permanent supporter. People were like, I want to see White, I want to see White, I want White to be playable, please. So, yeah, how could I blame them? I mean, White is really nice looking. And not only White, but also Wisp. Wisp is another very popular character. And I do agree. I would like to see Wisp and White as playable characters. There's another Revenant Knight in the form of Elvira. And though she looks like a knight with an armor, and I like that particularly, but she doesn't seem that appealing at first. If we check under the mask, you see a very cute girl, and maybe that's gonna convince people to vote for her. Like the Revenant Knights could easily be added into the game on the main story. Not like right away, but they could be added into the game. Sure, let's ask Gremory to add them into the game. And I would particularly like this character, not because of her design, but rather because of the weapon. There's only like Felicia. That's the only character we have right now who uses a scythe. And I do like scythes. And I actually do like how Felicia attacks. Though she has improved as a damage dealer, but I wouldn't say she's on par with Spinel. So yeah, I would like a more aggressive attacker that uses a scythe. That would be nice. Then someone talk about Yumi over here, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna check those characters that people are suggesting, and Yumi, Yumi looks really shy and pretty nice, but she transforms, and a character that transform would be really really nice. I mean, we have already seen characters that transform in the form of, let's say, with the ultimate. Old Noah used to transform and become super big. The name of this one, Sue. Sue still has her transformation and gets huge range with her basics. And let's not forget about Mirabelle, who also ultimates. And I mean, this one, I mean, she's not gonna use her her default form for battle. Obviously, she's gonna transform right away. But if I'm not mistaken, yeah, she has different transformations, so she could definitely become a new kind of playable characters with different transformations. Like, they have really improved. I was expecting, what's the name? I was expecting Kara to once again use buffs as stacks, but no. Kara now has another special bar that shows the amount of stacks that you have, and that's going to enhance your damage. And I was like, really? That's pretty nice. So they can do even more. They can implement new mechanics for new characters. They can experiment and they can improve the game even more. That's a really nice idea. And a character that transitions into different forms and has a different kit would be really nice, really appealing. Everyone would love that, but I gotta admit, that would take some time to cook. So let's give them the chance. Let's incentivize them to try something new, and they might. And then this one over here are easy picks. So over here we have Kana. Kana, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, she's the protagonist of Mama wa Taimanin. So Mama is a Taimanin. So yeah, it is an easy pick for them to add into the game, in my opinion. So they might. Depends on what they want to do. Then there's Chisu. Chisu. They're gonna add her into the game eventually. It's gonna be a bomb just like Phantasma was. And since she's gonna be a bomb, they don't want to screw up with this character and they want to make it very viable. I'm pretty sure about that. Usually with characters like Phantasma, they don't want to screw up. They just want to make it as good as possible and incentivize players to get it because the design is nice. And if the gameplay is also nice, they're going to spend a lot on that character, on customs, on the gacha, on everything. So, yeah. It's very, very likely to come into the game, and I really want to see this character at some point. And there's also Yuko over here. Yuko is another interesting character that I want to see. Tentacles and Witches. Yeah, what a title. So, Yuko, I mean, they added her to, what was it, to RPGX, yes? And, well, her new model looks amazing. The new art looks amazing. I want this character to become playable at some point. Gremory is showing hints that they're willing to do let's say, internal collaborations without saying they are real collabs, because the first time we received a collab, it was an internal collab with another IP of Lilith. So that's good, but it's not like, wow, it's a big collab. It is another of the IPs of Lilith. So it is not the same as doing a collab with FGO, a collab with, I don't know, Supersonico maybe. That's actually an easy pick that I think would be very likely. That would be a collab that they could do in the future. And I wouldn't recommend Gremory to wait for someone to say, let's do a collab. They have to do the job. They have to do the work. They have to contact the right people and check if they can get the deal so that they add this character into the game. I mean, the thing that they have to do with collabs is do special limited time packs for the campaign when that character release. That maybe never rerun. That would be fine. But they cannot paywall the character. That would be awful. And maybe after some time, because I have seen this in other gachas, they could renew the contract so that they offer the pack one more time. Or make it permanent, I don't know. But after some time, and they give a little bit of exclusivity for those who were at the moment of the character release, or those who joined the game because of those specific characters. Because that's a really good way to increase the player base, the numbers of active players. So I would recommend that they do collabs, sure. And starting with internal collabs is really nice. People really love Kara coming into the game. And even the gacha character was very popular. The permanent gacha character, which name I don't remember, but people were excited that she was gonna become a playable character, but no, it was Kara, and I mean, it was pretty obvious that it was gonna be Kara when you check the the affinity art, the affinity scene. So yeah. Anyways, that's some of the characters that I would like to see in the future. Honestly, I really wanna see the White and Wisp. Those are the ones that I want the most. And well, after that, Yuko and Chisu are my top two priorities. But of course, Vivi is another great pick that I would like to see. Brunhilde and Aika. Yeah, Fuma Aika. But what are your favorite characters that you want to see come into the game? What kind of characters you want to see? Like more machines, more demons, more humans? And is there a character that you would like to see into the game that brings a really amazing new mechanic? I mean, Kara just brought something new into the table. Honestly, I'm pretty impressed. Just one bar that shows you your stacks is a big game changer. Number one, it is not abusable with characters that use buffs, like the stacks from Granny Natsu. Yeah, Natsu uses stacks also, but she gets the stacks as buffs, and there are some supporters that use the buffs to increase damage or do other effects. So Kara is not abusable like that, but it is nice even so. Even though it's not abusable, there's a lot of benefit of having that extra mechanic. So, what characters you would like to see that bring a new mechanic into the table, and what would that mechanic be? Let me know in the comments, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye.